Dan from 4 Years Strong, and you're watching Solace Music TV.
What's up, guys? Kyle from Solace Music TV here. I'm with Dan from 4 Years Strong. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. How you doing?
Good. So you're on tour right now with The Feeder and Super Heaven and Elder Brother.
Yep.
We're in Toronto.
Yeah.
Last time you guys were here was like January with Comeback Kid. How was that show?
Oh, it was great. That show was awesome. We always have a really great time when we're in Toronto, so we're super stoked for tonight, too.
So do you guys like playing in like Toronto and Canada in general?
Yeah, I mean we have a great time. I'd say Toronto is probably our favorite city in Canada to play. It's just the shows are always awesome. Everybody always comes and has a great time, and you know there's a really good energy in the crowd. So we're always pretty stoked to play here.
Do you guys ever have border troubles?
Not too much. I mean, like some people get like their like vehicles ripped apart and all this stuff. We've never really had that. This is not wood, but we've never really had that happen too often. I've had our trailer emptied out before, and they like broke one of my guitar cases once, but other than that, really not too hard. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's never harder, it's just longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of really the problem we ever have. It's either we go right through really fast, or we wait, and then we go through easy. So
yeah, a lot of bands seem to be having trouble at the border recently and all the time.
Yeah. It's you know we've never really had any problems, like we've never really been like caught with anything we shouldn't have or anything. So I think when they look up our band or whatever they do, they're just like, all right, whatever, good to go.
So let's talk a bit about your latest record. It's a self-titled release. Yep. So a lot of people are saying online and stuff that you guys kind of went back to like a signature sound from like the earlier years of the band. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I guess a little bit. We went back. We didn't like talk about like, hey, let's go back to this sound or whatever. Just like any record that we do, you know, we just kind of approach it from an organic kind of place, and we just like get together and write songs, and whichever way they come out. We never really go in with a concept for the record. We're not like, oh, we want this record to be heavier, or we want this record to be poppier or whatever. We just kind of go in there and be like, I just want it to have enough songs to be a record, and we'll just write. And so this one, I think one of the reasons why I think, you know, it has a little bit more of a live energy, which I think some of our earlier stuff had, is because, you know, as well as when we did Go Down in History, the EP before this, we had taken a pretty big break from writing music before that, just like hung out at home with our families and stuff. And when we started to get back into it, there was just a really cool energy with writing. We were all really excited to get back out, start playing shows, and I think we just tried to write songs that were going to, you know, go over well live in like a live setting, and be like, oh, people can jump for this part and sing this part, and you know. And so when we did this record, we did a very similar thing, but I think one of the things that makes it come across is the really raw kind of vibe to the whole record, which is, you know, a lot of that goes to the guy who produced the record, Kurt Ballou, who usually does, you know, a lot of heavier stuff, and he plays guitar for that band Converge and does their records and stuff like that. So, and that was one of the reasons we went to him, because we wanted to have, you know, a record where the guitars sounded like people playing guitars, and the drums sounded like a person playing drums instead of very computer edited and super triggered and all this stuff. So we had a really good time, you know, just messing with guitar tones and riffing and stuff like that. And that was another thing, is it made us want to riff even more with really cool tones and stuff. So
funny that you brought that up, because that was actually my next question about like how you liked working with Kurt and why you went to him. So you just answered that for me. So you guys basically just didn't want like an overproduced record. You wanted more like raw. Yeah,
we wanted something that, you know, we were writing songs that we wanted to come across cool live. So we wanted a record that, you know, lent itself to that. You know, when we play live, we're, you know, nowhere near perfect, and we have, you know, pretty raw energy when we play live, especially with like really loud guitars and really big drums, and so we wanted that to come across, and we knew that that's kind of the way that Kurt does things. He doesn't, you know, go through and edit and take out like your fingers moving down the fretboard or something or anything like that. He leaves all those little tidbits in there because he's like, that's what makes it sound like human beings, which is true.
Yeah, I personally enjoy that more than having overproduced, like cut and paste.
Yeah, same here, same here. It was really fun doing it with him, you know, singing everything. You know, one thing, like some producers really like to, you sing one chorus and then they just take the vocals and they post them in the other paste them in the other choruses and stuff like that. And I've always liked singing them all out, which we've done on the last few records, and it was no different on this one. We really like to do that, give all individual takes to all the different parts.
So let me guess, you guys like playing live shows more than like writing and recording, or?
No. I would say, it's pretty 50-50. I love to write music and record. It's actually maybe even a little bit more sometimes than playing live. I really love the creative process. I've always just been a guy who loves to create and loves to, go into the studio or go into like a writing session with absolutely nothing and come out with like, oh, this is a sick song. This is cool. I really love the way that makes me feel, and playing live is completely different. I mean, you go into that more with, it's not really as creative as it is just kind of a way to output energy. It's a really good place to, connect with fans and watch people enjoy your music, which is awesome on a whole different level. But yeah, I wouldn't say I love one more or the other. I just think they're very different things that I enjoy very much.
How do you guys manage to keep the creativity up with like writing, like 14 years later? Like keep on just like writing music?
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Alan and I, who do a pretty good amount of the writing, we both like so many different types of music. We don't, I would say actually the music that we listen to the most, the music that we listen to the least is probably the music that we would be compared to the most, if that makes any sense. So a lot of times when we're writing stuff, we're more influenced by like some like pop song or some like super intense metal song or, some like really quiet acoustic indie song that we're like, oh, this is a really cool like progression. I wonder if we could play with it and make it cool. Or, inspiration comes from all different places, and Alan and I are always kind of on the lookout for different inspiration on things that we can twist and make into a 4 Year Strong song. And that's always been something that we've loved to do is, get in there and we'll write kind of a structure of a song, and then we're like, all right, now let's make it shred, and then we just sit there and we take a lot of time to work out our riffs and make them kind of intricate and play back and forth. And we have a lot of fun with that. It's kind of like, building a kind of like a Lego house, we go through it, each individual part, and pick it out and choose it. And so it's fun.
Awesome. So how do you feel about being dubbed as EZcore?
I mean, for me, I don't really, it doesn't really matter to me either way what you call us, because I understand that some people have a hard time being like, well, they're pop punk, but they're heavy, but they have, more poppy this things. And, some people have trouble giving us a one label. So whatever you want to label us as is totally fine with me. It always has been. I have no issues whatsoever with it, as long as you like it. As long as you like the music, that's all I really care about. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the important part. Always about the music. Yeah. With all the labels going around, it just makes everything more difficult. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So out of the 14 years you guys have been touring, what are your favorite bands to tour with?
Oh man, we've toured with so many awesome bands. It's really hard to choose. To be honest, touring with Defeater, Super Heaven, and Elder Brother right now is awesome. These guys are, some of the most fun people we've toured with in a long time. I think a lot of that has to do with Dan from Elder Brothers, a dude from Massachusetts. We grew up in Massachusetts. A lot of the Elder Brother guys grew up in Massachusetts or New England kind of an area, and Super Heaven dudes are like Pennsylvania kind of area, and we're from Massachusetts. So we're all kind of like Northeast guys, very similar. Just, I don't know, we just vibe off each other really well. We have very similar senses of humor and stuff like that. Good. So yeah, we vibe pretty well together. It's super fun, which is pretty much just like making fun of each other pretty hard, but everybody gets it. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was this package like handpicked by you guys?
Yeah. I mean, anytime we do a headlining tour, we think about who we're gonna bring out, and we always try to make it a diverse package. Like on this tour, at some point in the tour, we have Defeater and Us, which are very different bands, but we had Expire earlier in the tour with Speak Love, You Speak Love. We had opening, and then we had escaping my brain right now. My Iron Lung played after them with Expire, and Defeater and us, and now we're on to Elder Brother with Super Heaven, and so it's a really cool, diverse lineup, and we always try to do that because, you know, especially being a band like ours who have poppier parts and heavy parts and all this stuff, that some kids who like our band are more fans of heavier music, and some people who like our band are more fans of poppier music. So we always try to make the bills kind of combine like that. Plus, that's kind of the way it was when we were growing up. I mean, you know, I would go see shows where it was, I don't know, like Saves the Day with, I can't even think of like who, but like Snapcase or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like there were always just really weird, diverse lineups, and RX Bandits with Taking Back Sunday and Orange Island, or like all sorts of weird stuff. And that was kind of always fun to go to shows, because I always liked that. Even if I went to like a hardcore show, I didn't, you know, it wasn't 4 hours of just the same band over and over again. You get different types of music and different people, you know, playing it. So it's always been something that we've tried to do, is to recreate those diverse lineups that we remember loving as kids.
Yeah, mixed bill lineups are great, especially with a band like yours. It's so easy to do it because you guys got the pop, like the pop punkish, you got the hardcore heavy.
And we always love being on mixed bills too. Like even if it's not our headliner, like we love touring with, like, we love being the poppy band on a heavy tour. We love being the heavy band on a poppy tour, and it's always fun to kind of change the way, you know, we work our show out when we try to do that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So to conclude the interview, is there anything left in like the career for 4 Years Strong that you guys haven't done that you want to achieve?
I mean, as of right now, it's not a huge, you know, we're not doing a lot of crazy stuff right now. We're kind of taking it easy. You know, we're not doing tour after tour after tour after tour like we used to do. So I would say right now the thing that I think we want the most is to just be able to keep touring, you know, when we want to tour, and, you know, just kind of stay consistent. You know, we want to be able to keep touring for years to come. Not tour ourselves crazy into the ground, but we want to be able to keep touring and have the same people come out and have fun and change and grow as a band and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same here.